Capricorn, how are you? Let's do a reading for your current energy, shall we? As always, please take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. Now, I sure appreciate each and every one of you. I really do. And if you appreciate what I do here, help me out. Hit that like button. Like, comment, share, subscribe. All that good stuff really makes a difference to my channel. And I would love to see my channel continue to grow. Let's see, you can help me make that happen. All right, let's see what's going on for you, Capricorn, for the next 7 to 10 days. One more shuffle, all right? We want to make sure that the cards are really going to come out with a clear message for all of my Capricorns. All right, first card out for you is the Ace of Swords. There's some victory coming in. You know, there might have been a situation that, you know, you had to really come to terms with. And with this Ace of Swords, I feel as if it really benefits you. All right, we do see this crown on top of this sword. This is victory. You know, so, you know, you got what you needed. You got your way. So let's see what's going on. Because here in the recent past, we do have the Five of Swords. You know, so there was a situation I think you fought for. And I think you fought for it, and, you know, good or bad, you won. You know, these two people are walking away, you know, and you're holding the sword, and here's this sword of truth. So something had to be said, all right? And I think in saying what you needed to say, you gained a sense of power, and you feel good, because now you know from what point you can start and move on, right? All right, let's see what else is going on. I think you're a little shook by the whole thing, all right? Because here with this Hanged Man, it's almost like I had to say what I had to say. I had to do what I had to do because it puts you in a very strong position here. Because with this Hanged Man, notice he is in tree pose. All right, that is a very strong energy, you know, because with one leg, nobody can pull you down, you know. So I feel like you did what you had to do. You said what you had to say. And in so doing, you know, you took care of yourself. But let's see what else is going on, you know, around this. So I'm feeling like this could be around money, around work, you know, because we do have the Eight of Pentacles coming in reversed. You have to break a cycle, all right? Because a lot of times when we see the Eight of Pentacles, it's about doing something over and over and over again. With it coming in reverse, it's just like you couldn't let this continue. So if it was a work situation where you were really struggling with someone, you had to say what you had to say. All right, because that's what I keep getting. You said what you had to say, and in so doing, you had to move from there and that point and that perspective. You know, I think somebody heard you, all right, because here we have this King of Wands. And I think it needed to be handled in some capacity. Because we have the Three of Pentacles above you. I have the Seven of Pentacles over here, you know, as an outcome, and it's reversed, and it's just like you just couldn't continue doing what you were doing. And I feel like it was when you were working with some other people, because this here we have 3 people, here we have 3 people, you know, and it just wasn't working, and maybe you finally, you know, had to be the whistleblower. You know, because it just could not continue, whatever was going on. So I feel like it's truly a workplace situation that you were dealing with. I don't think you wanted to say anything with this Eight of Wands coming in, but you couldn't continue to not say anything, right? So you were at a point where you didn't know what to do. And what I'm feeling is, you know, because we have the Sun card here coming in reversed. Sorry, I can't hold them up too much. Let me cover the person up because AI is like flagging all of these naked people. But the nakedness in the tarot is about vulnerability, you know, and you have not been happy. You've been trying to go along. There's been trouble brewing, and you finally had to step up and say something, you know, because in order for you to be happy, you know, you couldn't continue to pretend anymore that the situation, the work situation was working for you. So yeah, a lot of you Capricorns, you know, you hung in there as long as you could, but enough was enough, right? Let's see what's at the bottom of the deck. Yeah, we do have the Knight of Wands coming in, you know, as your energy. And I think, you know, this buys you some freedom, all right? Because I think you felt a little trapped. Because the Knight of Wands brings a very vibrant energy to any place that they go. I mean, they are the life of the party. They're the ones that come in and really light that fire, so that the fun can begin. And I feel as if, maybe there was a little bit of jealousy. Maybe you came in and, you're a workhorse, all right? So if you come into a project, a Capricorn is going to work, right? And in so doing, that kind of puts everybody else around them on guard, because it shows other people that maybe they're not working as hard as you, the Capricorn. And honestly, I feel like you didn't want to say what you had to say, but you had no choice, because you couldn't continue working with these people, and getting backstabbed and, maybe blamed if something didn't get wrong, like, what's that called? Like, gaslit. I just feel as if, you just couldn't do it anymore. So you had to step up and you had to say something. And in so doing, maybe you felt a little bit left out, because here, it's just like, okay, now I told on them and I said what I had to say. And now what am I going to do? Because you're left to work on your own. Maybe that's what you need, because, I'm a Capricorn, so I totally get it. It's just like whether people are working with us or they're not working with us, it's just like we'll pick it up and do the best we can to finish it, So regardless of what the situation is, you couldn't continue with this kind of energy to finish a project, and you couldn't pretend anymore, and enough was enough, So I feel like you reached a point where you knew you had to say something. So that's what I've got for you, Capricorn, for this week. If it resonated, great. If it didn't, that's okay. All right, take what works, leave what doesn't. We all know who we are in the story. Hit that like button, all right? And be happy, be healthy, be kind. All right, I'll see you later. Bye.